Okay, so this is what I've been doing the last little while. I've actually sort of had this mentally in my head, I think, for almost a couple of years. Mark and I were talking about doing this back then, and I actually got some actuators and stuff like that at that time, and then I think we ended up building the Silver Sweetness dump trailer. But anyway, so I've had I don't know, I just wanted to do something different here. I've been building dump trailers and dump beds and stuff like that for quite a while, obviously, and I just felt like I needed something fresh for myself as well as my customers. So started working on this rollback. It's not a roll off, it's just a rollback deck. But here's what I got so far. There's a couple changes I'm going to make to the production ones. Always this, you know how it goes with a prototype. There's a couple things you notice that need to be improved. And I kind of caught that before I even tested it, but this one does work the way it is. I've just beefed up a couple of the cross members underneath the bed. And yeah, so anyway. The actuator on the rollback's a bit slow, but I think I'm concerned if I go to the next ratio that it's going to be fast, which is fine, but it's going to have a lot less torque. And I'd rather go slow and have lots of power, I think, than go faster and then regret that it doesn't have enough oomph to drag up something onto the deck. This truck's fairly heavy. It's got all metal axles and stuff in it, and then obviously copper and all that stuff on it adds up. So it's actually heavier than my King hauler with a dump bed on it. That's why I'm using this truck. Plus all the battery and everything is under the hood of this one, so a lot of the weight's up forward. Obviously not going to drive the truck off here because there's no space. This truck's all-wheel drive, like I say, so it wouldn't have a problem driving up on the deck, I'm sure. Probably if you have a two-wheel drive truck or a tandem axle drive and you don't have your axles locked, I imagine you'd have to bump this up. But I did drill the decks for what I believe is the pattern off of RC four-wheel drive's website, so that you could add one of their winches to it if you want. Hopefully that'll work out. I don't have one of the winches on hand, but like I say, I did go on their website and jot down the spacing of the bolt circle and all that stuff on their winches, and take note of where the power wire goes and all that stuff. So I've made those reliefs in the front pocket of the deck. There's actually a chain pocket on either side machined in. I manually machine all this stuff, so it's time consuming for sure. It took me 2 hours to make the first part just for the winch mount and the chain pockets. Time I got all the holes drilled and all the parts machined out that I needed to fit the boards and all this stuff. But anyway, hopefully then when I make the next few here, hopefully it won't take 2 hours each now that I've got it figured out. But there's a certain amount of trial and error, test fitting and so on. Anyhow, that's how it all functions. I don't have all the deck boards on it right now, as I've just been messing around with wiring things up and that, so I just put a few back on to hold the truck. See the chain pockets there. See, it's drilled down in there for the winch. It looks like RC four-wheel drive, most of their winches use the same pattern, if not all of them, so it should be compatible with whatever. Back here we got the stabilizer foot. I decided to go with a fixed one just because it ends up being too much electronics going on in a day cab truck. I think it's too complicated anyways. It's not necessary. As long as you're on fairly flat ground, this should all work. Of course, it's got the taillights in the back, so you could wire them up if you want in the bumper. I'll supply it with mud flap brackets as well. I'm gonna make some bumpers, like the cross member at the back of the truck frame. I gotta make some of those up yet. This is just my frame rails that I use on the bench for building stuff off of, so I have to make those yet. and a few other things. It's got brass slides to run the deck on, so hopefully it shouldn't gall up with that, with the aluminum and the brass. It should be pretty good. Costs a lot of money for the brass, it's crazy, but anyway, it is what it is. It needs to be done. So if it was aluminum on aluminum, it wouldn't work, and if I sit here and try to make up Delrin spacers and stuff like that, I'll be here for a week trying to do nothing. So should work. And yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at with these things. I'm making up a few. I've got a couple sold already. So yeah, I'm trying to get those together. I haven't really come up with a final price yet, but I think they're going to be somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200 US plus shipping with the actuators. I'll order some of those today and get on with that so that I have some in stock and go from there. So anyways, that's what I've been doing. I've quite a few 10 to 12 hour days in a row here, so I'll be glad when they're done so that I can sort of relax. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time.